Oakland County Commissioner from District 13, Marcia Gershenson, joining us now on the MegaCast. Commissioner Gershenson, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How are you? How's your family? How are your colleagues on the board?
My husband and I are totally isolating. We are both at risk. We're both in the at-risk group, and we are washing our hands a lot. I thought that was a great interview. I think it would be important for people to Google how to properly put on gloves, because I think I may be doing it incorrectly. So a lot of good information was shared.
And maybe some information that they can get from Oakland County, from their local healthcare professionals, such as, of course, Dr. Russell Faust from Oakland County has been great getting information out to us and others. Maybe next week we'll talk to a local doctor. We can talk to Dr. Jamie Tawil or somebody else about the proper way to put those gloves on, the proper situations to wear gloves, and how to wear those PPE correctly.
Right. And also maybe about how to bring groceries in your house. I know there's lots of confusion about how much do you wash, how do you deal with fresh produce. So I think that would be a great topic to cover too.
And it absolutely is. There's so much going on. There's so much change happening in our society. We just gotta we have to adjust to that. And it's happening on the medical side, it's happening on the personal side, and it's also happening in Oakland County and throughout the state and the country on the financial side as well. So moving into some of the county operations, there's some new funding that was recently announced and recently rolled out by the county for small businesses.
$219 million.
Oh, yes. No small amount.
Hands around that figure, but I just want to say, do you know that our county exec Dave Coulter is doing daily updates at 1:30 for residents? And also we've got an incredible dashboard at oakgov.com that's tracking a lot of the data and also has instructions for small business owners and people that are looking to get unemployment. I've been getting lots of calls from people who are frustrated with the unemployment connections and that it is taking long, but they are responding, and almost everyone I've worked with after a few weeks does get their checks or their response. So I would really encourage people to stay patient. It's just such an unprecedented tough time.
It is, and with those financial hits that are coming in for our small businesses in Oakland County, there are so many. There's the mom and pop shops, there's the restaurants all throughout this community. There's other small businesses in a variety of industries, and that's why more of this money was rolled out after the initial rollout earlier on in the process. How in need, from your knowledge and your communication, has our local business community been due to these COVID-19 related losses?
Well, before we received the federal funding, the Board of Commissioners with the county executive were offering small business loans and grants and money for businesses that could transfer over their business, their manufacturing into making personal protection items. So as on the board, we were allocating millions of dollars to our local community. So we put all that out and we had an incredible response. More businesses needed money than what we had allocated. Now with the $219 million, we're going to be reopening those loans and grant opportunities, and as well as businesses that can change over their focus to personal protection items. So all that will be coming up soon.
So there's plenty of relief programs and programs for these small businesses from Oakland County and also from the state and federal government as well, but right here locally that's supporting these local businesses. I have to ask also on that note, we've talked this week with Superintendent Ken Gutman yesterday from the Walled Lake School District. We've talked previously in the week with Dr. Jerry Hill from the West Bloomfield School District, and it's looking like with the upcoming budget year in Michigan, education funding is going to be drastically reduced. Is there anything that Oakland County has in the works, or it maybe is discussing about providing some aid to our exceptional local schools?
Right. I mean, we have an extremely talented administrator in Wanda Cook Robinson for that oversees Oakland Intermediate Schools, and we work hand in hand with her. So we're definitely keeping our eye on that. There's it's one of our most important priorities are our kids and trying to work out this education stoppage. Although so many teachers are working online virtually, such long hours. I'm a former school teacher, and it is difficult to teach online. Not only is it putting a tremendous strain on the teachers, but the parents that are dealing with this. This is really unprecedented. So we are really trying to stay on top of it, and we'll be interested in providing resources to help our schools.
Lastly, regarding to education, you being a former school teacher yourself, Marcia Gershenson, Oakland County Board of Commissioners from District 13. With all the innovation we're seeing from our local businesses, our restaurants, these stores that are changing the way that they do business to stay alive, innovation is often bred from knowledge and education. And with what we're seeing our schools potentially going through, can you just explain how important is it for the future of our county that we continue to emphasize education as we have?
Well, we have a commitment from our governor. We have a commitment from our county exec to raise our numbers of students that are going to college or are participating in apprenticeships. We're really focused on Michigan Works and working with them to increase the number of apprenticeships and job trainings. It's not all about a 4-year college education. It's about getting trained in trades, and so we are very focused on spreading opportunities around that will give more options for students.
And there is so much opportunity beyond programs that require 4-year degrees in industries that require degrees
Right.
that are all throughout Oakland County and throughout southeastern Michigan. So that's great to hear. Moving on, another hot button issue. We've been talking so much about funding for education, funding for small
Right.
businesses. That's often a lot of that money, a lot of those dollars are coming in as a result of data from the U.S. Census. So Marcia Gershenson from the 13th District in Oakland County, what does the census data do to affect municipal funding and county funding?
Well, I really think there's a disconnect between with people's understanding of how important completing the census is. Yes, they get a count of population, and that's critical because they use that data to decide how many congressional delegates we get in Washington. So if we don't get a good response, we're in danger of losing one of our seats. And those seats are so important because of the work the Congress people do in bringing funding and programs back to Michigan. But I think what people don't understand is that money that is allocated to our state based on the response goes to police and fire, goes to schools, goes to fix roads, works on affordable housing, works on Medicaid. There are so many things that money helps with. So right now, I am very proud to say that Oakland County has a 70% return rate, which is higher than the state's rate. So I think we are getting the message out, but it's just critical if you haven't either returned the questionnaire by mail, you haven't done it online, or you haven't received a phone call, to reach out to one of the census workers, and you can get all that data on Census 2020 if you go online. And certainly, if anyone is having any trouble, I can be contacted to help them get their application. And my information is public. My contact information is available. So I think people have to realize that for every person that does not respond, our state loses $1,800 a year. That translates over 10 years, because the census is done every 10 years, into $18,000. And I think this year we are expected to receive 30 billion. That's a B, $30 billion. And as I said, that money goes to the schools for tutoring and books, for all kinds of local services. So my message to people today is, if you haven't responded, contact any of your elected officials or go to Census 2020 and find out how you can participate.
Lastly, this also impacts funding that would go toward emergency situations. And I think that hits a little closer to home right now. So for those that may be reluctant or just don't want to take the time, don't think they have the time to fill out the census, explain just how critical it can be, not necessarily in this emergency because we're coming out of the last census data implications, but in the next emergency that we don't see down the road. What can this census data do to help Oakland County and its municipalities respond?
Well, one of the great things the census does do is it lets us know where populations are. And that information is critical when we're looking at hospitals that want to open, or we're looking to set up new facilities. One of the things we're committed to doing in Oakland County, somewhat as a result of this pandemic, is we're going to strengthen our Oakland County Health Department. We're going to be doing partnerships and collaborations with other existing hospitals and healthcare organizations like Honor Health. And we're going to make healthcare more accessible. So we need to know where those populations are, and businesses use it, real estate developers use it. It's critical information to know where your population is, so we can focus on giving more money to roads, and also to know the demographics of seniors. You know, Michigan has and is scheduled to have more seniors in our state than in the state of Florida, which is traditionally known as a senior haven. So we are working hard with our senior agencies to be sure we have enough resources to have seniors be able to stay at home, live independently, and strengthen our seniors' options.
Marcia Gershenson, Oakland County Commissioner from District 13, thank you very much for joining us on the MegaCast.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to staying in touch.
Absolutely. We will make sure that happens. Marcia Gershenson joining us from the Oakland County Board of Commissioners, District 13, on the MegaCast.